Hey Tamers, and welcome to another deck profile. Thank you for choosing ShineGreymon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I posted a post on which deck profile I should do next, and the majority of you guys picked ShineGreymon. Yes, BT12, even though obviously we're getting better support in EX4, making him more playable, and of course later on with the new Marcus coming out. Anyway, let's get into it. I've been kind of breaking my head trying to do like the best build possible. Stay tuned into the end, so we'll talk about combos and how it works. Anyway, let's get into the deck profile. So DigiEggs, of course, we're running the Koromon. If you have Greymon or Omnimon in your name, when attacking, you get to draw one. Self-explanatory, draw power, getting your pieces much quicker, and that's it. For the rookies, the new Agumon, really cute, is BT12. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add one Digimon card with Greymon in its name and one Marcus Daemon among them to your hand. Place the rest in the bottom of the deck in any order. The inherit here is where it's pretty cool because it's this line. The inherit kind of focuses on DP reduction and at the same time kind of goes with Marcus. We'll get into it. But this Agumon, when one of your yellow or red Tamer becomes suspended, one of your opponent gets minus 2000 DP for the turn, which comes in handy. So really nice. Up next, we're doing 4 of the starter deck 7 Agumon. Not Marcus's effect. We'll talk about why I'm using this one, but the Agumons that you have to use in this one have to have Dinosaur in its trait in order for them to Digivolve for 2 instead of 3. That's why I'm running 4 of these instead of either the promo ones or any other Searcher Agumons. This one, if you don't know by now, when attacking, when this Digimon attacks a player, it gains 2000 DP for the turn, not once per turn. Last but not least, we're finishing it up with Agumon X Antibody. So pretty straightforward. I'm sure you've seen other deck profiles. This is the kind of lineup that is being run right now. It has on play when Digivolving. What's cool is that you can either drop it and now you can search through your deck, or you could drop that Agumon, search, and then Digivolve on top and search again. So Agumon X, Agumon X comes in handy, especially searching for your deck. But this one, on play when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You get to add one card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name and one X Antibody from them, and put the rest back in the bottom of your deck in any order. So that's it for the rookies. For the champions here, we'll do the new BT12 Greymon, and here's what I was talking about. As the black box, Digivolve 2 from level 3 with Agumon in its name and Dinosaur in its trait. So you can't just use any Agumons because, for example, the first from BT1, I believe, that Agumon has Reptile in its trait. The promo Agumon has Reptile in its trait. So yeah, I kind of never really realized they did Reptile and then Dinosaur. So I guess that's kind of how they're determining the different lines of War Greymon and now ShineGreymon, I guess. Anyway, when Digivolving, if you don't have a Marcus in play, you can play one from your hand without paying for its cost. And then here for the GeoGreymon, when one of your yellow or red Tamers becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 for the turn. So now if you got an ultimate, you got that Agumon and that Greymon underneath, and you're going to attack with Marcus because that's the whole gimmick of this deck. You give you minus 4000 DP. 4 of the GeoGreymons from starter deck 7 as well. The security effect of being able to play after the battle is nuts, especially because this deck, it's not fast and it's not that slow. This can definitely help it. You know, if it gets hit there, now you already got a champion on board. Not to mention when it plays, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. 2 of the security Greymons, BT3. I was doing the security attack +1 Greymon, but then you're really not focusing on attacking with ShineGreymon here. You're more of focusing on trying to have Marcus's on boards and then building up to the Shine and then swinging. So adding potentially another 2 bodies to play if they hit on security is insane. It actually happened to me one time where they hit me for 2 checks and I played a GeoGreymon and a Greymon, and just like that, the tide of the match turned. That's pretty much it. It has no inherit, as well as with the GeoGreymon, no inherit. Last but not least, we're just doing 1 copy of Hybrid. We're running a really heavy Tamer deck here, and hybrid for game is just still massive, right? Especially with, you know, attacking with Marcus, giving him security attack +1, and then if you swing with the Shine and now he's at 0, you're kind of like, I need that last hit. So Agunimon will help us do that. That's it for the champion lineup. Up next for the ultimates is the new ShineGreymon, and I love this card. 4 costs to evolve from red or yellow. However, black box Digivolve 3 from ShineGreymon, which is why we're sticking with the 4 of the ShineGreymons, the 4 of the starter deck 7. This card, when Digivolving, if you have a yellow or red Tamer in play, gain 1 memory. So now if you Digivolve onto a ShineGreymon, cost for 3, you have a Tamer in play, you evolve for 2 into an ultimate. That's pretty nice. All turns, once per turn. When one of your Tamers is deleted, place 1 Marcus Daemon from your trash on top of your security stack face down. That's insane because now the Marcus only has 3000 DP. If you have this Rise, you swing. Well, I'll show you some combos here, but then you'll swing. Marcus dies. You trigger the ShineGreymon's effect. So now instead of going to the trash, it just goes into your security. So now your opponent knows, like, well, if I hit it, he's coming back. He's not going anywhere, even if it gets deleted by, you know, Black or Greymon, which is pretty busted. All turns once per turn. All turns once per turn. He just keeps the same as the all turns up here, which is when one of your Tamers gets deleted, you can place 1 Marcus from your trash into the security. So really, really good. And then 4 of X Antibody ShineGreymon. I don't play the yellow ShineGreymon just because then, yeah, it has a fairly good in here, but again, I'm not focusing on building a big stack and giving it, you know, OTK kind of security plus. But a lot of my champions are red, and that ShineGreymon will not be able to Digivolve on top of that red champion. So that's why I choose not to. I tried running one of the BT4, if I'm not mistaken, with the ShineGreymon. However, the ability of Marcus that he has, which we'll talk about, is not that ShineGreymon won't be a target because he's only considered yellow once he's on the field. We'll get into that stuff. Let me just talk about the ShineGreymon here. Digivolve 1 from ShineGreymon. So this was cool. There's a way with Marcus that you're gonna Digivolve for free into this ShineGreymon. So if you're at 3, let's say you're at 3, you Digivolve for 3. His one Digivolving happens, you gain 1 memory, and now you got a memory to go into X Antibody, leaving you back at 0 and playing a Tamer for free. That's insane. So ShineGreymon X Antibody, I already kind of said it. When Digivolving, you may play 1 yellow or red Tamer card from your hand without paying its memory cost. Then if ShineGreymon or X Antibody is in his Digimon's Digivolution cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 for the turn for each yellow or red Tamer you have in play. During your turn, for each Tamer you have in play, this Digimon gets 1000 DP, which is really nice because if you end up doing that little combo that I said, now you're decreasing minus 2000 potentially or 4000 depending on how many Tamers you have, and then you get 1000 for every Tamer you have. So you can easily swing over 12k DP Digimon with this ShineGreymon X Antibody alone. And that's it for the ultimate lineup. With the level 6s, the best one, obviously, right now, it's kind of the only one that kind of works with the Marcus, is the ShineGreymon from Bt12. Digivolve 2 from a level 5 with ShineGreymon in its name. So what that means is we're Digivolving for 3 instead of 4 here, which is awesome because you do have ShineGreymon in your name. Another reason why this works too. When Digivolving, for each yellow and or red Tamer you have in play, one of your opponent's Digimons and all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3000 DP for the turn. You have more DP reduction, and then if you swing, if you have the inherits of the ShineGreymon and the Agumon, that's another minus 4000, potentially dropping them to 0 DP, and it doesn't matter if they have protection. There's no protection against DP reduction unless it says this Digimon can't get its DP reduced. Because it doesn't matter if you got protection like Greymon X Antibody, just because the game is always checking how much DP you have. So if you were to protect yourself, now it's going to check it again, and then it gets deleted, if that makes sense. Here's a kicker for this ShineGreymon. Your turn, all of your Marcus Daemon in play, get 3000 DP and gain security attack +1. That's insane. So this is why you want to go into the ShineGreymon. It gives your Marcus 3000 DP, so he's going to be 6000 DP. Swing with security attack +1, and then if you Digivolve, you're decreasing DP, your DP reduction from the security stack. That's insane. Majority of the time, that Marcus is going to live, and it's pretty nice. Last but not least, it's in the thumbnail. 2 of the BT4 War Greymons. I love this card, and it's kind of counterintuitive, I know, because if Marcus gets deleted, he goes from your trash to your security. However, that kind of can benefit. War Greymon is kind of a pseudo hybrid for game, but a bit better. When attacking once per turn, you may add the top card of your security stack to your hand to unsuspend this Digimon and have one of your opponent's Digimon gain minus 6000 DP. We have all this DP reduction. You'll go ahead and Digivolve into War Greymon. You'll swing, grab a card, and then you unsuspend. We'll get into a nice little combo here. Just bear with me. So 2 of those War Greymon, they go hand in hand with the Marcus. Moving on to the Tamers. Of course, 4 of the Marcus from BT12, obviously. Start of your main phase if you have a Digimon with Agumon or Greymon in its name and play. By paying 1 memory for the turn, this Tamer is also treated as a 3000 DP Digimon that cannot evolve. Your turn, when this Tamer becomes suspended, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a yellow card with Greymon in its name in your hand without paying the cost. And that is why we're doing this, because now you can Digivolve into this War Greymon as well for free. It's a bummer. I mean, you could use the old BT2 ShineGreymon. However, stated here, you're always going to be attacking. That yellow ShineGreymon has to suspend the Tamers in order for his effect to really trigger, right? For DP reduction. I'm not saying you can't use it. I just don't think he's the most optimal. And then unfortunately, the other ShineGreymons are red. They're not even yellow, so it's like WTF. So that leaves me with my boy War Greymon. And then, of course, play this card without paying its cost for the security effect, for cost. I'll mention this here now. There's effects that say for each yellow and or red Tamer, X happens. Yes, he's a dual colored Tamer, but he still only counts as 1 Tamer. So just keep that in mind. I know there was a bit of confusion where, well, my Marcus is a yellow and a red, so that means it's 2 Tamers. No, it's just 1 Tamer. It just happens to be a dual color Tamer. Moving on, we're doing 3 of the Marcus Damon. I was running 4, and I switched 1 to put the Gunimon on here to kind of hybrid free game. And of course, this one we're using because he kind of goes with Marcus in the name. You can play it for free. If it gets popped, then you can put it in your security. This one is a memory set Tamer. Then during your turn, when one of your Digimon with Greymon and its name attacks, I'm not going to read the rest of that, you may suspend this Tamer to gain 1 memory, which does come up obviously because then you're going to swing. So you could eventually swing with the Rise Greymon. If you're at 0, now you gain a memory, and now you can Digivolve into Rise Greymon X antibody. Still your turn. So definitely some nice combos that happen there. Last but not least is 3 of the Tai and Karis. Memory. Memory really helps out in this. Not only that, reducing DP for the security of the Digimon just really helps Marcus. And when Marcus attacks, since at that point he's considered a Digimon, these can trigger and they can suspend. So let me read these to you. Start of your turn, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, gain 1 memory. If your opponent has 3 or fewer, gain 1 memory. So potentially for 1 card, if both of you have 3 or less security, you gain 2 memory. Your turn, when one of your red or yellow Digimon attacks, you may suspend this Tamer to have all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 2000 DP for the turn, which is awesome. Now onto the option cards. 2 of the new Shining Blast from BT12. We got main effect, you may play 1 Marcus Damon from your hand without paying for its cost. Then for each yellow and or red Tamer you have in play, 3 of your opponent's Digimon get minus 2000 DP for the turn. This card is going to be really fantastic for whiteboards. Potentially could be good against like a Bloom Lord. It triggers too if you don't have a Marcus Damon, right? So if you play it, you don't have a Marcus in your hand, then that secondary effect does trigger, and now for every Tamer that you have, you still decrease DP up to 3 Digimon. So really good. Then obviously the security, it triggers the effect. And then last but not least, of course, we can't go with this deck without playing Sunrise Buster. You may play one yellow or red Tamer card from your hand without paying for its memory cost. Then one of your opponent Digimon get minus 3,000 for the turn for each yellow and red Tamer you have in play. So really good, because now that targets, if you play that, you can actually end up playing the Tai and Kari, which is the only target that Shining Blast cannot play. Alright guys, before we get into the combos, do me a favor and hit that sub button, please. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. Let's get into these combos. Alright, so usually in the breeding area, you're going to want to Digivolve into the starter deck 7. This one you can do, but what I like to do, if I have both of these in my hand, I'll Digivolve. And then if I don't have a champion, or next turn when I'm able to raise up, now you can Digivolve, get a draw, and now you get to search, potentially getting another draw. Unless you have like Marcus and or pieces you need to go up to Shine, then you can Digivolve them here. Or if you're going first and you're at 0 and you kind of don't want to leave them at 3, or like, let's say, sometimes it's hard, because if you Digivolve there, then you miss out on getting a Marcus, especially if you don't have a Marcus in your hand, or if you don't have a champion. So you could pass turn there, and then you could end up revealing a Greymon or not. Obviously here, if you don't have any Marcuses, and you're just going to go ahead and Digivolve for 2 there, right? Digivolve, you draw, and now usually I really want to play this Marcus, unless I don't have a Greymon or Agumon, which in this case I do. If you feel like he's going to get popped, right? But you want to get off that trigger, then it's better to go into that one. That way you don't get memory choked. So now here we go. Let's say it's your turn. You're at 3 because of Marcus. And then let's say, this is your opponent's security. They have 2. Now you gain 1 memory. You're at 4. So now you would pay that 1 memory, start of your main phase, right? Remember, start of your main phase is after you're done with your breeding phase, which is either moving up or hatching, or leaving your Digimon there. So now you pay 1 memory, you're at 3. So now you got a Marcus, you got these 3, and here we go. So now what I would do is you can swing into security. You can activate Marcus's effect, where when you attack or when he suspends, you can now go into Rise Greymon. And now here, this is why you can't play the BT4 Rise Greymon, because he's red. Here he specifically states that it has to be a yellow Digimon with Greymon in its name, so Rise Greymon works. Now it Digivolves, and you get that memory back from playing the Marcus. Really nice. And now when you attack, let's say that attack goes through, bam, ignore what that is, and now let's say he gets deleted. Now what you're doing is you're using Rise Greymons once per turn. He goes to the trash, and then you can pick out a Marcus. Let's say you had one already here and you didn't have this one. This one was in your trash. Now you can place this in your security, so then that way when they attack, you'll set yourself up for a memory set Tamer. So really cool. You kind of recycle Marcuses that way. So let's say you attack. Let's say he died. Bam, he goes over there into your security. So now you got a security. Now what you can do here is you can go and Digivolve for 1. You're going to go to 3, draw, right? I was about to draw that. So you draw, you get to play another Tamer for free. Let's say, okay, well, I still have, let's say we got, bam, that, right? And of course, you could have activated this when you attacked with Marcus, because he is considered a Digimon when you pay for that memory, right? So let's say we did that and he still died, yada, yada. So now here, he has 1 security left. I have 3 memory, and this is where I tell you guys that this War Greymon, if I could find him, there he is, you can go ahead and Digivolve for 3, bam, draw, and now you can go ahead and swing. You can tap the other one that you just played, right? He unsuspends, and you get DP reduction. If you don't have that Agumon there, you can go ahead. If you have that Agumon underneath, now he's going to gain, 2000 DP. When he unsuspends, right, he's at 13. We draw 1 for attacking, and now bam, okay, he survived. If he attacks again, now he gains another 2000 DP, so he'd be at 15,000 DP, and now you're closing game. So that's a reason why actually love playing with this ShineGreymon. Now, if we didn't have that ShineGreymon, right, we go back to 3. If we didn't have that ShineGreymon, we can go ahead and swing, check the last security, bam. Let's say he dies. So, okay, he dies. WTF, I don't have anything, right? All you have is Tamers. That is where the Aguni for game comes into play, and now you close out. So that's why I'm playing the one of. Reason why I'm playing one of is because he's not a target for when you search. So more than likely, you're gonna really not get him when you search. What you could do is, instead of playing 2 of the ShineGreymons, you can just play 1 ShineGreymon and play 2 Agunis, since it's more Tamer heavy. All right, let's say we're just gonna play a bit here. So your opponent has 5 security there. You know, you have a Greymon, you have these 3 Tamers here, and now, of course, you can pay the 1 memory. Here we go. And now what you can do is, instead of swinging with the Marcus, you can go ahead and Digivolve. You're gonna know it's gonna cost 3, yes. You draw, but however, his 1 Digivolving is gonna give you that memory back. So now you're gonna go to 0. So now it's your turn. And now here's where you can choose to go into Marcus. We're going to go into Marcus there, use his effect. You can either go into Rise Greymon if you don't have Shine, which would kind of suck, but at least you play another Tamer. But in this sense, you can either go into the ShineGreymon, as we already talked about. But for this one, of course, we're going to go into Shine. So now we go into Shine, bam, Digivolve for free. You draw, you play out his effect, and now he gets security attack +1. And then you get to tap here, right? So now you have -2000, -3, -6, and now security attack +1. We got 1. Just ignore what they are. Pretend he didn't die. So now you did 3 checks right there. And then, of course, following it up here, you would do 3 checks in total in 1 turn from a champion. You got those 2. Now, let's say this was your field and you actually have 2 Marcus Daemons, and let's say they left you at 1. Now with the Ty and Cardi here, you'll get, let's say you get 2 memory, right? Or even if you get 1, now you're paying 2 memory, right? We pay 2 memory for the I was about to say Davis. For Marcus, go to 0, right? You go to 0 here, and now what you can do is either swing with the first one to Digivolve for free. Bam, there we go. You gain a memory from having a Tamer in play. Checks, let's say he survives, or even if he doesn't, now you got 1 in your security. Now let's say you Digivolve for 1 here. Boom, draw, and now you want to play another Tamer. Here, let's say you go with Marcus here, and now we go ahead and swing with Marcus, use his effect, and now you're going to go into Shine, right? Giving him security attack +1. And now here we go, checks 1, checks 2, there he goes. Bam, the Shine can swing. You tap here for 1, you go back to 1, he hits the last one. So as you can see, the more Marcuses you have, the better that it can be, which is why you play up to 4. Because if you even had just a Greymon, right? Let's say you had all these, you didn't have any of these, whatever, and you had 3 Marcuses, right? And they left you at 3, right? And they were at 2, 3, 4. Well, I mean, you can pay all the 3 memory, that's fine. 1, 2, 3. Now what you can do is you'll swing for 1 check. We'll go here, Digivolve for free, gain a memory. Now, boom, let's say he lives or he doesn't. Now he goes to the security, right? You got your 2 security. And now let's go ahead and swing again. And now what we'll do is go into Shine, go for 0, give him security attack +1, decrease DP on the security. So now you're checking 2. And now you swing with this Marcus. And what you could have done, you could have used his effect to go into here and then use his effect to go into Shine, which kind of would have been the same thing. Would have dropped that, and then you could have went Shine for game, either or. So those are pretty much combos that you can do. It's a slow kind of pace deck profile, depending on what you draw and what your field looks like. Sometimes you have to sit back in the raising area and kind of wait till you have Marcus. It really does suck when you don't have Marcus. And again, that hybrid for game does help. The Tai and Kari help a lot, especially because it passes your threshold of having 3 memory and you go up to 5, sometimes even 7, depending how many you have on the board. And with 7 memory, yeah, you should be able to win, hopefully. So there you go, guys. There's this deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I would truly, truly, truly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next video.